Today's video is brought to you by our good friends over at Nationwide Industries, the Fence Pros' #1 choice. And they are this Fence Pros' #1 choice for a couple reasons. One, we love using their Keystone Traverse latches. They're easy to install. You simply bolt them onto the post. No drilling for rods or cutting the rods required. It's a pretty straightforward installation process. We also love using their full line of galvanized hardware. It shows up quickly and reliably. All right, guys, today's video is called Cutting the Largest Log at Our Sawmill, the Jake and Noah channel. A little background on these guys. Actually, I think he probably explains it in the video, but a couple brothers build fence up in the St. Louis area, so actually only about 3 hours from us. But when I saw that they're milling their own logs and into fence pickets, I was like, we've got to watch this, because I went down this rabbit hole a time or two, and it's always something I've thought about. So I think you guys like watching the process of milling a log into fence pickets. If you'd like to watch this entire video without my commentary, we will link it in the description below. Also, jump over to the guys' channels and give us a subscribe. I think they produce good content, and you'll probably like to watch it. If you like watching fencing content, you'll likely like watching these guys. Likely like? Well, here we go.
Welcome to our sawmill, and also welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Noah. I own this YouTube channel. My twin brother, Jake. If you're new here, essentially what's going on is my twin brother and I own an exterior carpentry company where we build fences and decks around the greater St. Louis area. We're a two-man team right now. I cut all cedar logs that were harvested around here for lumber for my brother to install for projects in the city. So I wanted to document this log specifically because it was, I think, the biggest log in our delivery a couple days ago. It's about 20 inches in diameter. Most of them are probably like 10 or 11 in diameter. So this is definitely our biggest one. That's better. It's not too often I gotta do that, actually.
So guys, and no one will double check, so honesty here. Drop in comments below what kind of lumber you think this is. What kind of log do you think this is?
So my goal for all of the big logs is we mainly...
You can actually already see the fence pickets in the lower right-hand corner, so you probably have already got it, but no peeking. Just guess first.
Cut fence material and getting the dog ear pickets, which are these things, less than an inch thick. They're 5.5, 6 feet tall, dog-eared.
If you guess Eastern Red Cedar, you'd be right. It's also a juniper. Eastern Red Cedar is beautiful lumber. We use it here. We actually bring it up from a mill in Arkansas, but a time or two, like I said, I've gone down this rabbit hole of, maybe we pick up one of these Wood Miser portable lumber mills and start milling our own lumber. And then my wife reminds me that the kids would still like to see me at home at some point. So haven't gone down the road yet, but something I've always been interested in.
I need so many of these, and sometimes on the smaller logs, I get like 3 or 4. Ideally get like 6 or 7 out of like the average size log.
So that's why we haven't gone down this road. So an average project, 5.5 inch wide boards is going to need 200, 300, 400 pickets, depending on configuration, if it's shadow box or privacy, that sort of thing. Several hundred pickets. And if you're only getting a handful of pickets out of every log, well, that tells me you're going to spend a lot of time milling logs to get a little bit of lumber.
On the last log I just cut, right before this one, was a pretty big log. I got 10 out of, so let's see how many dog ear pickets I can get out of our biggest log.
So 10, if you got 10 pickets out of it, that's going to have 5.5 inches wide. So that'll get you somewhere around a little bit under 5 foot of fence out of a log. So let's see, this log's big enough though. He'll probably get quite a few. Well, quite a few relative to 5 or 6
in our delivery. I'm hoping for 20. That would be cool. That would be cool.
I forget what size log is, a 20 plus-ish inch log, so 20 pickets seems about right.
So today I'm cutting on a Wood Miser LT15, which is a pretty entry-level sawmill. There are some like smaller ones that are essentially just chainsaws on tracks, but this one is pretty beginner level as far as price and user goes. Gonna take a big old drink of water, cover my ears, cover my mouth, cover my nose, cover my eyes, and get the first cant on this, which is just like flat level part of the log that we can start creating angles on. I have a feeling this one's gonna be heavy. Ooh, that breeze feels amazing.
Be curious to know what he's going to do with the plank. Now, obviously, a lot of that's wasted wood, but there's probably a pretty decent little cutting board or something left in that first plank you took off of there. Now, you know it's Eastern Red Cedar, so you can see the exposed wood there on the top cut, nice and purple, marbled in with some white wood or sapwood. Really, really pretty lumber.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice cant. I could cut slabs out of this, but I still have slabs from our last load that we haven't like sold or done anything with, so I don't really see the point.
So what he's done is he's created a really nice 90-degree angle for himself. That way he can set both of those, true up the log, and know that he's cutting pickets that are straight, true, and correct.
Alright, what's a new fresh angle I never get? So when I get to this point, like I'll turn these into pickets all together.
It's where some of those live edge pickets come from. We try to sell them that way. I say that jokingly. So, like, if it's a countertop live edge, you know, they usually charge a little bit more for it because it's rustic or whatever else. Fence pickets, we end up throwing those away, or we actually end up cutting them into different crafts and things like that because no one wants to see the live edge in a fence board. But if we can figure out a way to sell these as premium boards, that would be the ticket. So, I mean, granted, perspective is everything. Looks like these, he said less than 1 inch. So these probably going to be somewhere around like 5/8, it looks like, maybe close to a 1/2 inch thick. Obviously more pickets per log, but the trade-off is they're just a little bit thinner. Now, Eastern Red Cedar isn't going to warp and twist nearly as much as like a treated pine picket would. You can get away with using a little bit thinner lumber and still keep it shaped fairly well.
Bring my saw down. What the saw says 5.5 inches is. And then I think I'm going to have more left over on top. So 5.5 inches from the bottom. So those pickets will be done from the very bottom. And then I'll have some left up top that are hopefully bigger than 5.5 that I'm going to keep the saw at the same spot and then recut the top portions to make sure they're all the same. Yeah, so these top ones are kind of too big. So here we go. We have 15 perfect freaking pickets out of this log so far. Okay, last cut. Okay. 27 pickets out of that huge log. Got 10 out of the last one, 27 out of this one. My goal, I was hoping to cut like 100 today, and I thought that was crazy, but now it looks like it's pretty possible.
So guys, pretty interesting. So 27 pickets. So he'll have, 12, 13 feet, depending again, if it's privacy, shadow box, or board on board. A lot of work to get a little bit of fence out of it. So I don't know, but let me know what you think. Again, about the Eastern Red Cedar lumber, maybe the milling process. Like I said, check out Jake and Noah's channel. They obviously put a lot of work into this. It'd be good to see fellow YouTubers succeed. Let me know what your thoughts are about the video as a whole in the comments below. For now, Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors, and I'll see you next time.